So you're heading into 2026 as a leadership team. You have decided that you want to support an RTO strategy. You want everybody back in the office. You've been paying for rent for too long with nobody there. You don't want to let go of your real estate space. Fine, fine. Here are 3 strategies that are absolute must do to support a successful return to office plan. Number 1, make sure you put thought into, as a leadership team, no matter how big or how small you are, into how you operate as a company. This is really, really important because the last thing you want is to ask everybody to go back into the office only to have everybody sitting on Zoom calls. That's ridiculous and shouldn't happen. And so think about sort of the quarter, the horizon, however your planning cycle works as an organization, and make sure that the milestones for how you operate are identified and communicated so your team can start orienting their life around being available, making sure that they're going to be available for those moments. Because everybody on the planet has spent, the last 5 or 6 years living a very different operation, right, of life. And we simply cannot expect folks to snap your fingers and then have everything go back to the way it was 5 or 6 years ago. That's not fair and that's not realistic. So think about communicating how the organization is going to operate. So you're not stuck with everybody on Zoom calls, half the team's there, half the team can't be there because they still have their lives that they're trying to coordinate back to whatever, back to the future time horizon that you're expecting them to live in. Number 2, really, really important, is be flexible. Like I said, it's not going to happen overnight, but more importantly, it may never go back to the way it was. And you need to be okay with that because just like everything else that happens, there are going to be new circumstances, new variables that are introduced into a company or into a strategy or into the macroeconomic situation that you need to account for. And we as leaders need to be able to evolve our plan to integrate whatever's happening so we can move forward. It's not about going to the past. Think about what is the best sort of variation of in-person collaboration that can achieve some of the goals or all of the goals that you're hoping to achieve, while at the same time supporting flexibility, more flexibility than you have, in the past from 5 years ago. We're not going back to the past. We are taking parts of different stages of life and we're integrating them to move forward. And the third strategy to employ for a successful return to office strategy is to focus on core hours. The other thing that happened when, everybody went remote is that a lot of companies hired in various geographies. And so, especially if you're a large organization, you were always a global organization, right? So what's the point if you have someone in San Francisco spending a lot of time working with someone in London or in India? What's the point of having them being in the office? Because going back to number 1, they're just going to be on Zoom calls all the time anyway. So think about the core hours that the teams should be in the office, in person, working with the people physically present in that office, and focus on that as opposed to butts in seats 9 to 6, because that's going to make for a whole bunch of unmotivated and unhappy people who are going to be on Zoom calls anyway. So if you, as a leader, are just calling people back into the office and expecting things to go as they went 5 or 6 years ago, you are setting yourself up for failure. Think about these 3 strategies and how you're going to implement them before you mandate a return to office plan. I'm Annie Tsai. Follow so we can build the future of work together.